Hello, Bill Molyneux here, and Nottingham Wargaming Group, Fast Play War Games, and this is my Antietam game. I've run several videos, and this is the introductory video to begin the game in 54mm scale. So, I had a lot of people wrote to me, and we are using Donald Featherstone's Battle with Model Soldiers, and this book was published a zillion years ago, 1970. This book was also given to me by Mr. Valent in Vestal, New York in 1979. Jeff Valent is my printer for Fast Play War Games, and his brother Rick Valent and I have been friends also since elementary school. So, let's go over the rules. The Donald Featherstone rules are very basic. So you roll a high dice, who goes first. You roll both sides move. You roll a morale test if you're going to charge or to hold. Both sides fire simultaneous and then remove losses. If there's units still in contact, roll for melees. Test morale for units that took losses. Movement rates are 12 inches. We have no cavalry on this field. 12 inches for artillery. They can prolong 3 inches. Musket range, 36 inches is maximum. We do have we have 12-pounder smoothbore Napoleons and also the 10-pounder Parrots and 3-inch rifles. We're rolling D6s per figure or 5 dice per gun. So you roll the hit, and then we roll for damage. Actually, this is quite similar to the bolt action system. Our second page of our beer and pretzel rules by Donald Featherstone is simple. If they're in hand-to-hand combat, infantry killing a 5 or a 6, cavalry, which doesn't exist in this particular scenario, gunners are a 6. And then we have morale tests. 1 is really bad, a 2 just runs away, turns back to the enemy and has to test again next turn. And then we have 4, 5, or 6s, hold or charge. A few modifiers. Green troops are -1, half strength. All units are 10 figures in this, and 5 for artillery. And then a bonus of a 1 if you have cover, leaders, and of course, leaders can be killed. So any leader that's within 12 inches of a unit that takes a loss, you're going to roll a d6 and see if he's removed from play. These are basically the rules from Donald Featherstone. So, we're going to open up a turn. I'm going to put the camera in the tripod, and had several people comment to just let the camera run. So Buck, the famous game designer, John Sudrew, the famous game designer, leader of the Hawks, who recently moved to Florida, and several other people said just let the darn game go. So that's what we're going to do. So, stay tuned, and I'm going to pause it and put the camera in the tripod. Alright, well, here we go. High guy will move first. Red is Confederate. Blue is Yankee, and we have a tie. Well, let's do that again. Alright, the Confederates rolled a 6. The Confederates will be moving first. So, what to do. Of course, hopefully I won't have too many camera issues, but we're going to advance this unit, going through some terrain over here. I have a unit over here. It's moving through the woods behind the Dunkard Church. This is our Dunkard Church area. Now for the Confederates, really don't want to leave these defensive positions. So the Confederates are pretty happy where they're at. So we're going to go ahead and move some Yankee troops forward. What's nice about Donald Featherstone rules is they're simple. You know, so the Zouaves have moved 12 inches forward. Now, I did not use movement bases for these. The reason is, I started doing old style wargaming. So, just trying to keep nostalgic. Yeah, I'm almost 60. So, now this is my Iron Brigade figures. All these were painted by Jim Shaw, for the most part. Here's my leader. He advances. I hope the viewers out there aren't bored already after a minute of play. So, we've advanced here. This column here, my officer's moving out of the way, 3 inches across this fence. So, we're prorating. This line just moves up 9 inches. This line can go to here. So we're advancing all across the flank. And I'm just going to keep the column going. And they're advancing. Now over here we have the cornfield. So we're gonna pause the camera and move our camera around. All right, let's see about advancing through the cornfield. Now, in Gary Edelman's Antietam videos for the Battlefield Trust, he does some great videos, and of course my cornfield isn't quite as tall as it should be, but it's pretty all right. So we've advanced there. And our Yankee line is advancing. Got a leader up there. So all through here, this would be the West Woods area. Of course, playing in 54mm scale, you do have some issues with size, but as everyone keeps going into the 6mm Bacchus figures and everything else, for me, the last couple decades of being around, I'm having fun in this 54mm crazy scale. Now I'm losing some movement across this fence and then the woods, so we're going to move some of the giant trees out of the way. And this Yankee line only advances to about here. And this is almost one complete turn. Now I'm not an expert of Antietam at all. And there's probably people watching this video that, such as Brad Ireland. Let's see, Paul Larson, John, the historian author, and I'm sorry I forgot his last name. He does a lot of 54mm stuff. These figures here are the ones I painted recently. Wow, the Yankees have moved. Now I'm going to take the guns and I'm going to move them to the top of that ridge. And they can prolong 3, still fire, 12 and not fire. I'm going to move our leader to here. And I'm going to move the gun battery to here. Now I hope everyone understands that I'm not playing advanced squad leader. And for this video, I'm trying to be a bit nostalgic of the old style wargaming. Recently been gaming with some people that never even heard of Donald Featherstone. So we got our battery on this ridge now. They can't fire this turn. So for turn 1, we have completed all the movement. So now we're going to go to firing phase. And I think I'm going to fire the, I'm going to go left to right. It's simultaneous. So I'm going to pause the video and set up the camera. Alright, it's simultaneous firing. The Confederates moved first. I'm going to have them fire first. The Yankees, all the dead I'll lay down, and then they will fire back, and then I'll remove the dead. So, in the Donald Featherstone rules, 12 inches is short range. So I got the trusty rule sheet here off to the side. It's over here. And we'll get the little 12-inch ruler out. So, So I know for a fact this is a 10-man unit here. So they're going to fire here in this Zouave unit. And at this range, 12 inches, I need a 4, 5, or 6. Now in this particular rule set, I'm rolling 1 die per figure. And there is some rules such as brother against brother that has +1 to hit if you've got arrested weapons on a fence. But we're not using brother against brother, even though I like those rules a lot, or Gentleman's War by Howard Whitehouse. Those rules are good too. We are playing as if it's 1965 with Donald Featherstone. So here we go with 4, 5, or 6s. And in the camera world, there's our rolls. And well, we did a little bit above average. So we have that. We have 6 hits out of 10. Now they're in the open. This field that they're in really is just for effect and the looks of the game. So they're in the open, and to hit somebody in the open now, I need a 4, 5, or 6 to kill. So 3 are misses, 3 are hits. So this Zouave unit took 3 losses. And we're going to fire this unit here. And our rolls, ooh, we're missing a few dice. Well, that was a pretty bad roll. We only got, well, 50%, 5 hits. And for effect, well, for effect, this unit lost 3. Now, both units took losses, so we're putting a red marker out here because we're going to have to test morale later on. Now, for playability's sake, that's pretty much the firing for here. Let's see, move the camera. So the Confederates firing over to the to see about firing into the cornfield. I'm going to say they can't see them because their heads are in the top to the corn. So we're not going to let the Confederates fire into the cornfield yet. I guess when they get to about 3 inches from, I'll do firing. And who knows, if I had some people here, we may have had a debate over that or roll the high die to determine that. So we really have no more firing on this flank except for, all right, we have this Confederate battery up here. And we got 3 12-pounders. And Matthew, Mark, and John, I guess. So they roll 5 dice apiece, and you know they're. I'm going to pause it and get a view of where they're going to fire at. Well, the Confederate battery on this hill has a lot of targets. So, but we're gonna try to single out that unit at 55 inches. The problem is my smooth bores in this particular scale, they don't have the range for that. The maximum range of the 12-pounders are 48. So that's sort of a. So we got a target there, there, and there. Let me move the camera to our new target. Okay. All right, well, we're ready to fire our batteries. And I hope everyone I know who does watch my channel, of whatever it is, 50 people, 30 people, you know, I don't take this real seriously. So my YouTube videos are what they are. So our battery, these 3 guns, we're going to open up right here. So we're at maximum range. We know that. They are in the open though. 12-pounders, 5 dice per gun. And Matthew fires. And I need 6s. So we got 1 hit with the first gun. Second one gets 1 hit. And the third one doesn't hit anything out there. So the 1 hit, they're in open, 4, 5, or 6. And so artillery shells, far range with smooth bores, we do kill 1 figure. And we do cause a casualty marker. So pretty poor artillery rolling on that. And we'll go over to the other side for the Confederate firing. Let's move the camera. All right, here we are on the far flank. We're over by the West Woods. Confederates are still firing. Oh, let's see. This 10-man unit really doesn't see anything. And these woods are supposed to be light, so those 10 Confederates will see that Yankee unit that's coming through the woods. And the woods are in the scenario book are supposed to be light cover. You can see through them. My musket range is 13 to 24. That unit needs 5 or 6s to hit. And, you know, they did quite well. So we got 5 hits out of 5, but they're in light cover. And in my light cover rules of Donald Featherstone land, I need 5 or 6s. Wow, look at that. Well, you can't see it because I didn't show the dice roll. But we rolled 4 hits. So this Yankee unit took 4 losses. Now you notice that Donald's rules are a bit deadly. I don't know how many people really know anything about Donald Featherstone, but he used to convert old Aerofix plastic figures. And the gentleman who owns a lot of the Donald Featherstone collection lives in Canada. And he has a website with the figures and the collections laid out. So our Yankee oncoming units, we're going to fire this unit down that road. And I hope someone considers leaving comments. We got 10 shots, and I think we're going to be at that 13 to 24 range, which we are. And those Yankees coming up the road are in open. And I rolled terribly. I got 3 potential hits. And then in the open, we caused 1 hit. Just 1 measly hit here. So that was from here. And right now, I think that's the end of our Confederate fire phase. Let's go over to the Yankee fire phase. Now, everyone that's laying dead on the ground for the Yankee side still gets to fire back. We're going to just start left to right and go in the opposite direction. So that 10-man Yankee unit fires back from here to here. And we only rolled 1. That 10-man unit hit nothing. They were terrible shots. That unit there will fire up to here. The Confederates are on the knoll, and they're actually in the open. They didn't get up to that fence line. Let's see, and I need 5 or 6s. And they scored 2 hits and rolled 2 double 2s. And that artillery battery there, they can't fire this turn because they moved to get up on that ridge. So let's pause the camera and go to the other side. Alright, well, we're still on turn 1 and we're doing the Yankee fire on this side. Let me see, make sure this unit's going to fire here, this unit to there. So let's do this 10-man unit. They need 4, 5, or 6s at under 12 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4. They got 6 hits out of 10. Now they have a stone wall. Now a stone wall is considered very heavy cover, so I need 6s. And believe it or not, those Zouaves scored 2. So the Confederates lost 2 figures. And I'm just going to lay them back here for the moment. I'll pick up all the dead after the firing phase, but they did cause a morale marker. This unit's going to fire here, and I'm going to say those Confederates, I got them in the open. There's only a couple behind the stone wall. So 4, 5, or 6s are my hits. 4, 5, or 6 in the open. and they took 2 losses. I'll put up a marker there. Now, let's see where my camera is viewing. Let's move this a bit. So I have no other Yankee firing, except for these are rifled guns. Now my 3-inch rifles and 10-pounder Parrots are the same thing. They're a rifled gun. And we're going to hit this wood fence line, and we're going to concentrate everything on that unit at 50 inches, which is 6s. So 15 dice with 6s to hit. So here's the first 10. We got 2 hits and 3 total, and then the chances for damage is a 5 or a 6. So 3 gun battery, went and fired away like mad at that fence line right there, and didn't score a single hit. So let's pause the camera. Well, let's do our morale checks. We're going to start with this one. Also, we have to see if this leader's been, he's within 12 inches. This leader is dead. And this leader, he's fine. Morale check here, a 3, plus a 1 for a leader makes it a 4. So they're fine. And the Zouaves are still above half strength, and they have no leader. So with a 2. Their elite, though, makes it a 3. So they're going to fall back 12 inches. However, they do rally here, and they don't get a morale marker. So they run back 12 and rally. Let's see what this unit is. They rolled a 3, becomes a 4. They're elite. They have no issues. Our Confederate unit here. So they got a stone wall and a leader. We have to check on that leader. He's fine. And our unit is a 2, 3, 4. So they hold with no issues. And then our unit here. Let's see how they're doing. 6, 7, 8. They're fine. Again, on our morale checks, morale's pretty easy. So, green troops, you know, it's a -1 elite cover. You know, Johnny Reb 1, 2, and 3, you'd have a ton of modifiers. And Johnny Reb, that system is awesome for 15mm wargaming. I used it a lot in the 80s and 90s. I remember buying my first Johnny Reb rule book in a box at Gilbert's Hobby Shop in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and I think it was like 1984. So we've done our morale checks. I'll be removing the dead, but I'll pause the video for that. So let's pause the video here and go to the other side of the table. Wow. Over on this side of the table we have no Confederates. We have no morale checks through here for the Confederate line. Let me move the camera a little bit. They didn't suffer anything. But we have 2 Yankee units. One here and one on the other side of these woods. Got to check for the leader. Your leader is over there and he's fine. So they're going to get a +1 to their roll. 2 + 1 is 3. And this unit here is going to fall back 12 inches but face the enemy and rally at that position. Do the other one. The other one's a 3 + 1 is 4, and they hold fine. Let me pause the camera and we'll move that unit back. Well, what do you think? We played 1 complete turn, pretty much non-stop. I let the camera run pretty much the whole time. It took 30 minutes, maybe a little longer, because I did pause the camera a few times. So right now, this Zouave unit, I have to pick up all these dead, which I'll do here in a little bit. I'm going to end this video as turn 1, and then I'll do another video of turn 2 and so forth. Now, if I get to turn 2, 3, 4, and no one's viewing these or leaving comments or even a thumbs up, I of course know I'm not really making an impact on helping out in the world of miniature wargaming, and I won't bother doing crazy videos. But if I get a half a dozen people interested, I'll keep them going. So our attack here in the West Woods was driven back. I have to pick up these dead. The unit ran back there. Donald Featherstone rules has no special rules for running through units. So, and believe it or not, we forgot to fire this Confederate battery earlier. But that's the fate of war. So, conclusion of turn 1. I guess that's about it. And like always, stay safe, be kind, be courteous, and I hope you enjoy this 30-minute video on Antietam, part 1 of, well, I guess turn 1, and I'll be making a turn 2 and 3. I think I'll go until either Dunkard Church is captured, which is here. And the Dunkard Church was purchased at the Gettysburg Miniature Shop in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania on Steinware Avenue, the land of 54mm figures. Thank you.